Hi everybody, let's take a look at exercise 5-6. So we're given a bunch of cost data for a company. So information on manufacturing overhead costs, other costs incurred, and inventory. The company uses a predetermined overhead rate to apply overhead costs to production. The rate for the year was $5 per machine hour, and a total of 10,000 machine hours were recorded during the year. All raw materials ultimately became direct materials. None are classified as indirect materials. Okay, so we have two things. Compute the amount of underapplied or overapplied overhead costs for the year. So before we look at the solution, what do we need? We need to know what the actual manufacturing overhead was, and we need to know what was applied. So our actual is actually given to us. Total actual manufacturing overhead costs $48,000. So what was applied during the year? Well, it gets applied at a rate of $5 per machine hour, and there were 10,000 hours. So 5 times 10, 50,000. So 50,000 was applied, 48,000 was actual. So now we can just go look. Actual cost, 48,000. The amount that was applied during the year was 50,000. So too much was applied during the year, so it's over applied. So over applied by $2,000. Then we are asked, prepare a schedule of costs of goods manufactured for the year. So let's take a look at our schedule here. Now, the format of this doesn't change. The format is pretty much always the same. How the numbers are presented to you might be different. There might be numbers given to you. It might be in the question. You might have to calculate something, but the format is always going to be the same. So it consists of direct materials, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. So we go back to our direct materials. We start with raw materials inventory beginning. So what raw materials did we have at the beginning? Then let's add to that any purchases of raw materials that we made during the period. So that tells us then how much raw materials was available to be used. Then what did you have left over at the end of the period? That then would show us how much was used in production. So these numbers here, raw materials at the beginning, 8,000. We purchased 32,000. So that means we had 40,000 of raw materials available, but we had 7,000 left in our ending inventory. So 40,000 available, but we had 7,000 left in ending inventory. So that means there was $33,000 worth of materials used in production. Then we have direct labor. So we're given that amount here. Direct labor costs was 40,000. And then our manufacturing overhead cost applied to work in process, we calculated that up here. 10,000 machine hours times $5 per machine hour of 50,000. So that gives us our total manufacturing cost during the year. But what did we start with in the beginning? There was work in process that wasn't complete at the beginning. So those amounts are right here, work in process beginning and work in process ending. So we started already with 6,000. So we had $129,000 worth, but our ending work in process still had $7,500 in there. So that means the cost of goods manufactured was $121,500. So again, the formatting, the way it looks, there's an example in the textbook in the chapter. That pretty much is the same thing. It's pulling this information out of the question.